Thank you, Cynthia. It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another exciting installment of the Channel 8's Summer Fun series. Today, we took our cameras to St. Croix's historic estate Whim Museum for a tour. Let's take a look.
If you're like me, you probably appreciate a fun day at the museum. And so that's exactly what we're doing today. We are here at the beautiful historic Estate Whim Museum in Frederiksted. The museum has a variety of activities throughout the summer and of course all year long. And they have a big event happening here next week, so let's go find out about it. I am joined by Mrs. Sonia Dow, the Executive Director of the St. Croix Landmarks Society. Mrs. Dow, thanks for having Channel 8 here.
Thank you for featuring St. Croix Landmark Society and our activity coming up this weekend.
Absolutely. So you do have a wonderful activity, an annual event that you put on. It's called Come Home to St. Croix. Tell us about that.
This is our fourth annual Come Home to St. Croix, which is a celebration of our culture, our history, and our family connections. We thought 4 years ago to begin to put together an event around which families or classes can plan a reunion. So all you have to do is get your people here. We create the activities. We start on Sunday, July 13th with a ceremony to honor our ancestors, because that's where we should always start. Honoring those who went before us and paved the way for us. We pour a traditional African libation, and we invite people who are here to come up and add the name of their ancestor to the roll call that we do, so everyone can participate. After the ceremony, we're going to open our new major exhibit, which is called Has, Hasmen, and Has Racing. And for those for whom Crucian is not their first language, that can be translated as horses, horsemen, and horse racing. And we're looking at the cultural, the social, the economic impact that horse racing has had in St. Croix and in the Virgin Islands at large. So there's a wonderful exhibit of photographs, there are interviews with people who've been involved with horse racing in one capacity or another over the years. And that will open on Sunday. It's going to be open at the Estate Whim Museum for a year. And it's a work in progress.
So we're making our way around the beautiful historic Whim Museum. And Mrs. Dow, we are here at My Granny House. So please tell us about this wonderful little structure that we're standing
My
on.
Granny House is a permanent exhibit that we created 2 years ago with the help of Dwayne Howell and Mrs. Josephine Hector. They were the curators for this exhibit. And our idea was to have the museum, because we are the Museum of St. Croix, St. Croix's history and culture, to have the museum show more than the Great House and the slave quarters. Where did people live after slavery and as they were able to get access to land? So this is a replica of what My Granny House might have been like, a very small structure where you might have had your own children, your spouse, maybe a grandparent, maybe cousins who came from St. Thomas because someone was sick or whatever, and they all fit in this very small space. That's hard for us to imagine now fitting in, where we've gotten used to having a large bedroom and a large kitchen and everything. But this was that kind of house where you were still using a coal pot, where you were still cooking mostly outdoors, where you didn't have indoor plumbing, so you had a pole that you used at night. And then somebody had to get up in the morning and toss that, where you have, there's one bed in My Granny House, but the lodging is rolled up underneath it, so at dusk everybody could find their corner, find their place to spread out their lodging.
What's the lodging? Tell us about the lodging.
The lodging is your bedding that you would sleep on because you're sleeping on the floor. Most houses didn't have 5 and 6 beds for everybody that lived there. So you had your little padding that you created so that everybody had a corner, and in the night if you had to get up to use the pole, you had to be careful that you didn't step on anybody as you moved around. So it's just to give Crucians and visitors a chance to come and visit with their children and begin a conversation about the past.
Well, this is absolutely fascinating to me. I don't know if you're as excited as I am, to just be visiting these beautiful grounds. And, please come out. There's so much happening here on St. Croix all summer long at the Whim Museum, not forgetting the annual Come Home to St. Croix event happening
July 13th to the 20th. We start on a Sunday, we end on a Sunday.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And I'm Cynthia Graham reporting for News Channel 8.